This is Don Blackburn with Indoor Man. And for those of you that were watching last week, you'll notice that I shaved off the blonde mullet and the beard is almost back to normal after having my Joe Exotic beard last week. But I'm not giving up on Joe. In fact, I think for a future episode, we may have a free Joe, some sort of a free Joe campaign maybe. But that's for a future episode. This week, joining me this week is Ben Rodriguez, another one of our senior developers. Ben, welcome.
Thank you, Don. Glad to be here.
And I noticed you're sporting your ActiveLogic gear as well as I am.
Yes, I am.
So for our viewers, I thought it'd be a good place to start is just tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? How'd you get to Kansas City? How'd you get into this business?
Well, I was born in California, and my parents decided to move, and given that I was 7 years old, I moved, and we moved to Missouri, and we've been living here ever since. When I went to high school, a lot of my fellow students in high school said that they did not want to go to college at Warrensburg, which was just 30 minutes north of where we were living in Clinton, Missouri. And I looked around and said, you know what, that's where I want to go. I don't want to talk to you, well, most of you ever again, so peace. And so I went to Warrensburg, bounced around majors a few times, walked in, I was going to be a drafter because I really liked drawing and was really good in architecture class. But took the advice of the advisor coming in, which if I had to do it all over again, probably wouldn't do it, but went in undecided. At one point, I was going to be an actuary, was going to do actuarial science. That was actually fun. I love nerding out on the math. But once I got to Calculus 3 and looking around at all my classmates, I was like, oh my God, you're all boring. I'm out. So went for something a little more exciting and got into criminal justice. Talk about excitement.
Yeah.
Yes, that is 100% pure adrenaline excitement with very little pay and an increased risk of your own mortality. So it's like, all right, that's fun for a little bit, but I'm going to go do something else. And it just so happened that I was taking Intro to COBOL programming that semester. And I was like, this is kind of fun. I enjoy it. And looking around at everybody's like, these people are kind of fun. And it's like, wait a minute, we're all going to go get beer after class? Yes, please, thank you. And then it's like, wait a minute, you get paid what? Okay, sign me up. I'm good. And that's where it all started and just started going from there and been here ever since.
Well, that kind of answers one of my questions. One of my questions was going to be, you've been in IT for a while now. What was the first computer you worked on and what's the first language? It sounds like the first language was COBOL.
Well, that's the first one that I did professionally, but at home we got a IBM 486 SX with, I believe it was 4 megabytes of memory. No, it was 2 megabytes of memory, and then I upgraded it to 4 megabytes of memory, and it had a 180 megabyte hard drive.
That's pretty big.
It was pretty big at the time. It was like, oh my God. But that's what I started on and actually started programming, doing batch scripts, because the video games I was playing needed different memory configurations, and when you're working with 2 and 4 megabytes of memory, you have to squeeze every little byte you can out of what you have. So I programmed a set of batch scripts to change the configuration of my computer depending on what I wanted it to do. So that's where I started. But professionally, I started writing COBOL and then saw an opportunity to jump on Java and say, hey, that looks like fun. I want to try that. Next thing you know, I'm a Java programmer. And then it's been a wild ride since there.
The rest is history, as they say.
It is.
I too, when I went to school, was COBOL, the first real language I learned. And I just saw New Jersey's looking for COBOL developers right now. So there you go. State of New Jersey. You could go back to your old days and do COBOL programming.
Yeah, I'm sure my skills are still up to date. I might have to catch up on the 5 new verbs that they've added since I last touched it 20 years ago.
Right. Well, what get us back to current day. What do you think your strengths are now from a technical standpoint?
My strengths now, it's going to sound cheesy, but inspiring digital confidence.
Okay.
So I get put onto dumpster fire projects. It's something that I am actually good at and thrive in. I don't know why, but chaos, mayhem, and strife. Why am I so happy? So my strengths are not being afraid to get in there in the middle of the dumpster fire and trying to figure out what the problem is, how to get to the solution, and how to make it all work again. So my strengths are not being afraid of the code, not being afraid of a dumpster fire, not being afraid of this is something I've never worked in before. I just look at it and say, you know what, I don't care. I mean, it's a mission that needs to be done. Let's get it done.
Right.
Away I go.
Well, with that in mind, tell us a little bit about your current project. Hopefully it's not a dumpster fire. Don't say that.
No, it's definitely not a dumpster fire.
Okay,
it's creating a new system for a company. They want to get away from the system that they are using because it is very limited on how it can integrate with the different services and vendors that they work with. And it's just not very, what is the word? Forward thinking or updatable, maintainable. It's like, sure, it can be maintained. I mean, COBOL will still be maintained, but they want something that's going to better service their company going forward in the future and make things a whole lot easier and make it to where they can leverage technology, because that's what we do, is we leverage technology to make people's lives easier. Absolutely.
Okay, and I also happen to know that you enjoy speaking, and I think the audience can attest to that based on this video alone. You do a lot of speaking engagements, is that correct?
Yes, I do. I'm an active member in a Toastmasters club. We meet every week. With COVID going on right now, we are using Zoom to get together and meet. Right. So it's like, all right, this is pretty cool and pretty nice. And given that I love and play with technology, I set up different cameras and I'm able to switch camera angles during the meeting. And people are like, hey, that's cool. How'd you do that? It's like, just click this button. I need
to tap into that technology. Maybe next time we can do that. We can have multiple cameras and make this a little more interesting.
Yes.
What's your favorite topic to speak about?
Well, technology, of course.
Anything in particular, though? That's a broad topic.
It is. It's getting people to understand and use and not being afraid of technology. There is a group of office professionals that has monthly ongoing training, and I've been invited to be the speaker at their group on 4 different occasions. I went over websites, what a website is and how you interact with it and work with it. Went over what static websites are and all the way up to, a full-blown, having your whole platform in the cloud. And then also over social media, how it works, how you use it. And what else did we go? Oh, networking, and basically how to talk to your IT department. Because these were office professionals. Think your secretaries, your admins, people that are behind a desk. They have a computer, but beyond turning it on and typing some keys, that's all they know. Right. So going in there and speaking on, just getting comfortable with using technology, that is like my favorite. I enjoy technology, and I want to pass that enjoyment on to other people. Sure. Well, it touches everything we do nowadays. Yes, it does. Outstanding. Well, I tell you what, I don't want to keep you. I want to let you get back to what it is you do and taking care of our clients. But for those of you that are watching, if you have any other questions for Ben, please don't hesitate to go to our LinkedIn page at ActiveLogic Labs and leave your posts there or your questions there. And as far as me, I'll be back next week with yet another one of our all-star developers and getting to know them a little bit. So for this week at least, that's going to be a wrap. And join me again next week. But for this week, I'm out.